Welcome back to another live here from Pawn Expo 2019. With me, I have Anthony from WatchCSA. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
No, my
it's
pleasure.
a pleasure.
For sure. So I wanted to kind of get the vendors aspect of how the show's been going, why you're here. And first, tell us what you do, what your service does.
Sure.
So that people
So we do online watch authentication. We've been helping pawnbrokers for the last 10 years or so in verifying watches that come into their store, so they're able to certify that watch, reduce the counterfeits, and then price it and get it back into their store and get it sold. So that's
awesome.
That's what we've been doing.
How many years have you guys been doing this?
Close to 10 years now.
10 years now.
Yes.
And how many watches have been authenticated?
We do thousands a month, basically.
Wow.
So I think we've hit a million mark here, and
nice.
and we do a lot of verification too. There's a lot of online stores that use our service to create pre-owned reports and increase their sales, so that they have that aspect too.
Awesome. So
yeah.
How's the show been going for you so far?
It's outstanding. The big thing about the show is, and I like to back up. When we first started, we thought the show was about signups, getting members into the account, and that's a big mistake. It's not the right way to head into a Pawn Expo. You really get much value by the interaction with the people, getting to know what their business is like, and making connections. And so that's what we've been doing, and it's been very beneficial. So awesome. We get to hear feedback that we would never hear, because a lot of our members use our service and maybe they don't call unless they're really stuck on something. So getting here face to face, hearing what people have to say, and then learning from their experiences is a great benefit that you only get here.
I agree. So I had a lot of people come up to me during the show, and they're like, so what are you selling? I'm like, oh, listen to the podcast, and they say, how much is it? I'm like, it's free. Like, no. I'm like, it's free. You have to have other services, but the podcast is free. So I agree with you. It's not about signing them up for something. It's about making the connection. And really, this show, as two vendors sitting here, it's been great, and a lot of people are just very engaged.
They're very engaged, and they expect a two-way interaction that's educational. So I have a lot to gain from talking to a potential client, and they are also learning. So if I can connect with them and give them something of value, even if they're not going to sign up for our service, but let's say they're going to go back and with a little tip to educate some of their managers on what the new trend is with counterfeits. Even if they don't sign up, it's a win-win for everybody. They go back. They don't want to be sold to, though. They don't want me to hit them with the punchline at the end, and now here's the contract. Let's sign this up. They're not going to come back.
So let's give some value to the people watching. So we've got Anastasia on. Hey, Anastasia, she's been awesome the whole time watching. Big shout out to her. Let's give a tip to those watching of what's happening with watch counterfeits. What's kind of like the new trend that's going on at the moment?
So you really have to have a filter. You don't have to be a historian and know watches and know exactly about transition points on every watch, everything about that history of that watch. What you really have to understand is being in touch with the marketplace. So if you know which models sell at a high level, so if you know Submariners and Rolex and Sea Dwellers and Daytonas are really hot, or if you know in Omegas, certain Speedmasters that go with the Apollo, like right now we have a 50-year anniversary. Though anything that's got a good trend going, good solid watch, that's where you're going to have the high-level counterfeits.
Got it.
They're going to be the $1,000, $1,200 counterfeits, the third-tier counterfeits. And that's where you really have to spend a lot of time in verifying.
Yeah.
So a tip in verifying today, so 10 years ago, let me back up. 10 years ago, on a counterfeit, when we came to the show, pawnbroker would say, I don't need your service. I've got a lot of experience. I shake the watch. I feel the edge of the watch. I look at the tick mark. And all that stuff is old technology.
Yeah.
There's money to be made in making a high-quality fake. So they'll make everything spot on in terms of the hallmarks and the bracelet codes and things like that. It's the machine quality, that final finish, that's not going to pass.
Yeah.
So if instead of being a watch expert, you really got to be a detective and look at the very fine detail in the finished quality.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm wearing a Submariner that everybody thinks is real, but it's a fake, and
Let me
it's a
see.
$1,200 fake.
So it's a $1,200 fake.
Yes,
That's what it costs.
Yes, I didn't pay money for this, by the way.
Yeah, no, I hope not.
But
It's
it's
amazing.
Yeah, so
Let me see. Take it off your wrist. Let me see if I can show it to you.
this is what I use for those real smart pawnbrokers to get them signed up.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm gonna hold it up to the camera here. It's a really nice. It's a really nice fake.
Yes, I might give it to somebody for Christmas, but I'm gonna wear
Like,
it.
wow, you gave me a Rolex.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Rolex.
as long as I don't call it a Rolex, I'm good.
It's a Folex.
So it's a Folex.
Yeah.
But anyway, on this watch, it's going to be the very fine lines, like on this bezel, where you look at how straight it is, or the surface of those marks. That's going to stop the watch from being purchased.
Got it.
And on any location here, or imagine this watch is on your wrist. So the counterfeiter is going to spend a lot of time making what you see here beautiful.
Yeah.
With your naked eye.
Yeah.
Because they don't expect you to look at, if I take the watch off, look at the back here.
Yeah.
Look at the back of the assembly here.
Yeah.
So they won't finish those. They'll save a couple bucks here and there. And those are really the spots where you want to be a detective and look at the finished quality.
Got it.
So you don't have to be an expert in Rolex to get started. You have to be very patient and diligent and look at these areas.
Yeah. And knowing that the counterfeits, obviously some of the things like, I know how to deal with watches, but they're always making new fakes, new technology. They know what the crowd is already looking for, and so they're making that part of it better, correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. Beautiful. So Susan says, I love when I'm wearing a fake and somebody asks if that's real. I tell them yes, meaning it's a real watch.
Are we talking about family members here, or are we? You got to be truthful with people you're starting a relationship.
Yeah,
with,
right.
So
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
So awesome. So if you guys haven't checked out Anthony's
CSA.
WatchCSA, go to watchcsa.com.
Yep.
Thanks for being here and supporting the MPA. Just so you guys know, a lot of people do business with people outside of the industry, and that's okay. But the guys who have booths here, A, pay a lot of money for the booth.
Yeah.
B, pay sponsorship money. C, pay money to fly out in the hotels. And yes, we want to sign deals as vendors, but we care.
Yes.
And so if you support the vendors are going to support you by having better technology, better services, better support, all those types of things.
Yes.
So that's what I believe. You agree?
Oh, I agree. And I'll tell you, if you were over my shoulder at our booth, there were a lot of people that said, hey, I can't really afford WatchCSA, which is not an expensive service for the most part. But they'll say, we just don't see a lot of watches, but we do get a few in. And I'm saying, hey, just call us.
Yeah.
We'll help you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a member. And when you build up your business, then let's talk, and we can bring you in. But so it's not always about the business. It's about supporting everybody.
Yeah, love that, man. Anthony, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate it, guys. Remember, go to pawnexpo.com. Check it out for next year. If you haven't listened to the podcast, go to pawnleaders.com and check out the Pawn Leaders podcast. I'm going to have Anthony on soon. Hopefully, I'm going to ask you to be on.
Yes.
So we talk a little bit more in depth about what WatchCSA does.
I'll be ready.
I think it's important. I know we used it back at Cashco when I was there. And so, the more you know, the better. And having tools in the industry, like just being at the conference, you see the new tools are out there, the new softwares, the new technologies, and new vendors, which is great. So stay tuned for the next live coming up. The show ends at 1, but then we go into some sessions where there's Q&A. We've got Seth Gold, talking about marketing and all that type of stuff. It's going to be cool. Yeah.
Got to be here.
Yep. Stay tuned. Take care. Hold on one second. Anastasia says you have to take the time to educate yourself and your team about watches. I hate the idea of turning them all down just due to the lack of knowledge one way or the other. Yes, Anastasia, you're right. Stay tuned for more lives coming up from Pawn Expo 2019.